the corona if you're a 55-year-old fat guy. So that's probably why she's upset.
We're not on right now, but Mike Calta got the coronavirus, and he's way bigger than you.
Yeah, I know he got it. That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. But what I'm saying, though, listen, I've seen you way heavier than what you are right now. You are a Adonis right now.
Yeah.
In the present day.
Right, but compared to like,
though, man.
I still don't need to get the corona. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Well, we got a few minutes and we'll start. I want to talk about the show first. When we your show, I want to promote it. I don't know if you even need promotion, but I want to tell everybody how they can listen and stuff, because there's going to be a lot of people in Tampa that are checking it out. And
cool.
And I think Jana's going to be on at the same time as you, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. I love Jana.
Okay.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Because I wanted to have Jana, she's doing her all motivational speaking thing right now, and right. I wanted to have her on.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I like the house. Man, you got a nice pool area. I can't see the pool, but the awning looks pretty badass. Wow, yeah. It's pouring there too, isn't it?
Hey, Jana, how you doing, girl?
Oh, you can let Jana on if you want to unmute her and stuff. Jana.
Hello. How's everyone doing?
Oh, I love Jana Banana.
Well, thank you. I love you too.
Can you
Russ, I have not seen you in ages. You are getting younger.
Yeah, no, that's bullshit, but that's very nice of you. How you doing?
I am doing well.
Good.
I am doing really well.
I see your stuff on Facebook. It looks like you're doing really good. So
thank you for following. I appreciate that.
How's your husband?
He is awesome.
Good.
He's sitting here at the table. He'll be popping in every now and then.
Tell him I said what's up.
I will.
See, Russ, I've learned from you, when you have a guest on, you just let them run with it. So if you and Jana just want to go back and forth, I'm cool with that.
No, I haven't seen her in a while, so it's good to see her.
Yeah. Have you got any new tattoos? The one on the other arm. I know the one on your left arm, but you got a Batman?
Oh yeah, that was the first one.
Oh, I've been on and off. You don't realize how long I've been gone, and then my little stint where I got crazy and screwed everything up.
That's cool. So this is your 1,000. How many? Is
no, my 100th show.
100. Okay.
100. So, but listen to this. I only do a 45-minute podcast, 45 minutes to an hour. But I've done 64 straight days of shows.
That's awesome, man.
I'm trying to see how many days in a row I can do.
Hey, man, I gotta love your get up and go. That's awesome. That's good work.
I'll call you after. Well, maybe some other time. I got a terrestrial gig coming up real soon, and it's in Florida. I'll just give you a hint. It's as far fucking south as you can get.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So, but I'm gonna do that. But I want to keep doing the podcasting stuff. It's been keeping me sharp, and it's helped me fall back in love with radio, in my opinion. It's got me back to the basics. All right, I think we're going to be starting soon. Let me, Vulture, Bill, I'm going to call you Bill. I hate stupid radio names, and Russ can attest to that because I learned that from him. I'm ready to go anytime, Bill. Just text me and let me know where we're going. And Jana?
Yes.
I'm sorry about keeping you waiting.
Oh, please. I tuned in early just in case there was any technical difficulties.
I'm the same way. I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up.
Right?
No, whatever. I'm nervous. All right. Welcome to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. I'm really nervous right now because I got some radio legends waiting in the wings for me to bring them on. I wanted to do this Zoom show because it is my 100th podcast today, and I wanted to have people in radio. Oh, is that Jameson, Russ? Russ Rollins is on with me. Russ, how are you, man?
Hey, this is my like relax time. So I told you I might be drinking a little bit.
Hey, dude, I don't drink anymore, but have at it, my friend.
I ain't mad at you. I mean, it's fine.
But I got to tell you, and I'm going to bring Jana Banana, Jana from the Phillips File. I'm going to bring her on real soon, but I want to introduce Russ. Now, Russ, I wanted to have a lot of the radio people in my life that have helped me out and given me the tools. And I was a dick the last couple of years. And you know what's my fault is that I take a lot of things personal. And whenever I got fired, because I was at Real Radio for 10 years, a lot of people think I get fired all the time, but I had a good run originally, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
I had a good run there. But I want to just apologize for what I did, because now looking back on it, you gave me one of the biggest chances in my radio career. And I just want to thank you. I'm sorry that I was an asshole during that time, but you gotta understand, I'm an emotional wreck. But when I look back on it, you did so much for me, and I appreciate it.
Well, thanks. What's funny is the entire time you were mad at me, I kept saying, I like Tuddle. I don't know why he's so mad at me. I didn't really do anything, but I appreciate you saying that. And I always loved the time you were there, and it wasn't my idea for you to leave, and
no, it wasn't.
Yeah, I appreciate what you say. So that's very nice.
Now can I ask you, and I'll bring Jana on. Can I bring Jana on at the same time too? I don't know if I can. Bill's checking it out for me. Jana, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, I got Jana and Russ Rollins, 2 radio legends. Now, Russ, I'm going to have Jana talk a little bit and do a motivational speech for me. But I wanted to find out, what was one of your favorite stunts of mine, Russ?
Mine?
Yeah, like one that I did.
Oh my God, dude, you did so many. I mean, when you were in the cement, and you were locked in the cement for like 3 days, and then we had to have a professional wrestler come break you out. That was amazing.
Bubba Ray Dudley.
Yeah, Bubba Ray Dudley. When you walked across the state of Florida, I mean, Tuddle, you had so many incredible moments. It wasn't even amazing.
I will concur with that. Tuddle, you have so many unforgettable moments at Real Radio.
Hey, Russ, can I tell you one of my favorite Jana moments where I was like, I can hang with Jana Banana? Catherine Brown was sitting in our monster studio, and we were talking about the stunts and stuff that we've done.
Right.
And she comes in and she cracks this joke to the new intern. Yeah, we don't do as many stunts. This is what put me in this chair. And it was one of those jokes. It just absolutely killed me.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I would say the concrete one, and I don't think a lot of people realize, you were really mad that day when the Carnies completely screwed up everything. Remember when the power went out?
The big problem is that we had a sponsor that provided the concrete, and the concrete they provided didn't get hard. So you had all this really bad chemicals around you, and you couldn't breathe. Yeah. Like we almost killed you.
But think about all the things. Now, you have you know what, I'll say it, the most successful radio show in Orlando. Were you ever worried how one of the stunts could have gone wrong and ended the whole empire you built? Or were you kind of like, I don't give a damn?
No. If I worried about that stuff, we never would have done it. No, I just always figured it'd be okay. I mean, when you're younger, you don't think really well. Like now, I would never do the stuff that we did. But at the time, it was like, oh yeah, he'll be fine.
Now, Jana, I want to ask you, what did Mr. Phillips, if you don't have to give us any behind the scenes stuff, but Mr. Phillips did kind of a different show than what we did in the mornings. Did he ever comment or anything about what we did in the mornings, where he's like, oh, that Russ Rollins and the Monsters are, out of this world,
The only thing he would say is that Russ Rollins is a genius.
Yeah.
He's a marketing genius. And every now and then we'd go into the office and he'd say, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that? Those were the famous words. Whenever anything of the monsters would come up, Jim would say, "Why didn't I think of that?"
Now, Russ, you want to know, like, I used to fill in on the Phillips File when anybody would be out. And one of the scariest moments I ever had in my radio career where I was like, oh my God, this host is serious. Jim walked in and he closed the door. And I guess, people were kind of like going against him a little bit. And he was like, the name of the show is the Phillips File. You can argue, but I'm going to win all the time. And he went in on it. But Jim doesn't need help. But that's the type of respect that Jim, deserves, in my opinion. We all, when Jim said that, we're like, yep, you got it, Mr. Phillips. We'll do whatever you need.
What's funny is that I heard that story, right? And so I went in one day to Dirty Jim. I said, Jimmy, you know what Jim Phillips does is he tells his people, listen, I'm always going to win this argument and I'm in charge. And Jimmy looked at me like, I couldn't pull that off. That was not that was not going to happen on my show.
Well, now, Russ, me and Jana, we both talked about this. I was recently on Jana's podcast, and I'm not saying we weren't appreciated, but we put a lot of effort into radio, and maybe we've always loved radio more than radio has loved us. And we're going out.
Speak for yourself, Tuddle. Speak for yourself.
I think so. I think it has.
Hey, listen, you know what?
I think it has.
I think both of you are superstars, and you have been superstars. People love you guys. I mean, Tuddle, people love to hate you, but they also love to love you. You have the both sides. Everybody loves Jana Banana. I mean, that's just, she's just loved. But Tuddle, you had the whole wrestling thing. Like, half the people love to hate you, half the love you. But that's what you wanted. That's what we were going for. That wasn't a mystery. But Jana Banana was well beloved, and when she left, people freaked out.
But Jana, I wanted you to talk a little bit. Now, talk about what you're doing right now. Why did you want to get into the motivational speaking? Because it's something you're very, very passionate about.
I want to be a speaker. So something that a lot of people don't know is that when I was in radio, we didn't talk about my disability. That was something that I was almost like the modern day FDR, right? Like we didn't talk about my disability at all. And go ahead.
No, I didn't know if I was supposed to ever say anything. So I never said it because I never heard anyone else say it. So I just kind of kept it, and people would call and say, is Jana Banana in a wheelchair? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, right? It was like a mystery. And in fact, when Jim hired me, he said, how do you feel about this? Do you care if maybe we don't mention the wheelchair? And his thought process was that you're the intern and we're going to pick on you and we're going to treat you like the little sister. And we don't want people in their cars listening thinking, why are Moira, Jim, Jack, and Otto being so mean to the disabled girl?
And
right?
I am so evil because if you were on my show, I would have let everyone know you were disabled, right? And I'd have made the hell fun of you.
Russ would have pimped out your chair.
Here's what's so crazy about my story is that while I was on the Phillips File, I won the gold medal in wheelchair basketball at the Paralympics in 2004. And we never once mentioned this, right? I'm a Paralympic gold medalist, the best in the world, right?
I would have used that as much as I could.
And so many people, right, think that is radio gold. I mean, literally, that's radio gold.
Jana, how many presidents have you met?
I've been to the White House 3 times. In fact, I took time off of the Phillips File to go visit the White House. And I actually I was shaking the president's hand and I came back with my pictures and we never once mentioned it.
Russ would have talked about that all day.
It was almost like I was living a double life in a way. However, when you're injured at age 15 and your whole life, from age 15 to 20, I started at the radio station at age 28. So from 15 to 28, that's 13 years. I'm going to bed at night saying the prayer, hey, you know, I wish people could just see me for me and not my disability. I wish people could see me and not see my wheelchair. And then all of a sudden, I'm offered this job, and he says, there's one caveat. Let's not mention your wheelchair. And I'm like, hallelujah, praise Jesus. Okay.
You got what you wish for.
Right?
I'm just telling you, if you would have been on Russ's show, it would have been talked about.
Every day.
The only problem with that is that I outgrew my position.
Yeah.
And so over the years, I felt like as I was growing as a person and as I was growing in my views and what I wanted to do with my life, I felt like my position at the station wasn't growing. And I felt like I needed to talk about this whole part of my life that had become part of who I was. So in a way, that's what caused I was having this internal struggle. I was hearing this voice that was saying, Jana, there's something bigger and better out there for you. And yet I loved my job so much. I loved working on the Phillips File. I loved telling stories. I loved entertaining a crowd. However, there was something inside me that was saying, you could be making such a big difference in life, in the world, in the disabled community, in inclusion, in so many other things.
Well, Jana, like giving hope to people who are in a wheelchair, who don't have the desire that you have, or don't have the, you know, they don't have what you have inside you. You could give them that hope. That's why I would definitely want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could really give people inspiration who maybe don't have that inspiration.
And what I'm finding, Russ, and you're a marketing genius. So what I'm finding now is that as I'm getting out there and speaking and working with different business mentors and trying to find what my niche is, who are my people?
Yeah.
A lot of times business people are saying, well, your people are people in wheelchairs. That's your tribe. That's your crowd. And I say, but you don't understand, because for the last 12 years, they didn't know that I was in a wheelchair. No. And I was connecting with those people. So I'm like, I don't want to pigeonhole myself into just that particular group.
Jana, it's much more than that. It's anyone who feels like they have any kind of disability at all. With your attitude, you can be successful. That's the
yes. It's anyone who's ever felt undervalued, underpaid, underappreciated, an outcast, someone who's tried to fit in. Those are my people.
Now, Jana, is it okay for us to talk to you? Because I don't think Russ knows that, and we talked about it when you were a guest on my podcast. Russ, did you ever, the whole time Jana was there at the radio station, ever see her down? I don't think I ever saw that. I always saw her in a good mood.
No, I mean, any good performer doesn't show you when they're in a bad mood. And so, I mean, I wouldn't expect her to, but no, I mean, she always was happy and up and in a great mood. And when you're performing, that's what you're supposed to do. But I'm sure she had times she was down.
No, but I mean, she was down, but to see her now, it's just so amazing. And it's a great story because she fought through adversity and she's doing something that she's always wanted to do right now, in my opinion.
I was down. Excuse me. And no, there was a downward spiral, to say the least. And I got so that I was drinking a lot of wine, and I was having a lot of
drinking whiskey.
A lot of anxiety. I found myself having panic attacks, and I got so that I couldn't even be around people, which is so unlike me. But there, toward the end of my radio career, I was literally in the bathroom at the Phillips File poker tournament, like in a ball, going, I can't do this. I can't talk to people.
But you
can't.
never let us see that, though. You never let us see that, though, Jana.
No,
Yeah.
I never saw that. Yeah, I never noticed that. I mean, you always seem like you were together and you know.
Yeah, but we all go through ebbs and flows in life, right? Isn't that part of this beautiful experience that we're living?
Well, yes, it is. So what are you doing now? So you're doing motivational speaking?
Yes, so I am speaking. And I have a few private clients that I am helping.
Good.
And what's so crazy is that at the beginning of the year, I said, I want to speak in 3 different countries. That was my goal for this year. And then, of course, COVID happened.
Right.
And I thought, I don't know about this, if this is going to happen. But with this Zoom technology, I am speaking in a different country every week.
That's awesome.
So I am speaking in Moscow on Monday, and I have just booked my first international seminar. What? I'm really proud. I'm like really excited.
How many gold medals do you have for basketball for the Paralympics?
So I went to 3 Paralympics.
3.
I have a gold medal from Greece in 2004.
You were in Atlanta, though, right?
In Atlanta in 96, we won the bronze medal. And then in 2000 in Sydney, Australia, we came in 5th.
Wow. So I will tell you, when I saw that you were actually doing motivational speaking through Tuddle, that's how I saw it. I wanted to call and ask you if you wanted to come on the show.
I would love to.
You gotta have her on.
I didn't know if that would be stepping on like Jack's toes or anyone.
No, let's do it. Let's do it. Tell me when. I'm a free agent.
Okay.
Now, Russ, could you imagine her and Mark Miro like tag teaming? That would be like one of the best tag teaming partnerships of all time.
Oh, that would be great. And I'm glad to see you're doing motivational speaking. That's really great. That's because you really could, motivate people who, who feel like they have disabilities and they don't know what to do. Like you're such a positive person. So yeah, we should have you come on the show. If you think it'd be okay with Jack and nobody would be upset, that'd be awesome.
I will. I'll have my people call your people.
Well, I don't have any people.
Yes, me neither.
Yeah, my people's me. Yeah.
Now, Jana, do you have any like closing words of wisdom you'd like to give us before I finish up? And because I got a lot of guests coming up, and I just want to get some motivational words, any closing words from you. And I want to talk to Russ a little bit before he goes.
Well, when I talked to you on the phone, Tuddle, you were saying that you were a little down and out. You asked me how you can grow when times are tough. And I use the analogy of, when you're lifting weights, you're actually breaking it down so that it can grow to even be bigger and stronger. And I thought of you today because I was climbing a hill. I went to Sugarloaf Mountain and I climbed the hill. That was my workout today. And I was thinking about you because when I was climbing it, there's like different methods and thought processes when you're going uphill. But I think the elite athletes, they sprint uphill. So when times get tough, they don't stop and rest because they lose their momentum. And I think you've got a little momentum going with this podcast and you're on your 100th episode. So I think you need to find that 5th gear. And I think you need to start sprinting and just keep moving forward and get up,
Jana,
get up that hill, break through that ceiling.
Like I've been telling people, personally, this is the best that I've ever been in my whole entire life.
Good.
Professionally, I need to work on that, but I got some things in the work that I'm very excited about. And Jana, I want to thank you because when I first started this podcast, one of the first pieces of content I did for my show was with you. And I really appreciate it. And I apologize that we lost connection with each other. But I'm so happy that we're friends again. Oh, I can't hear anything.
Russ.
Oh, hold on. All right, I can hear you now.
Okay. Thank you, Tuddle.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry.
Russ, it's so great to see you, and we will be in contact. Can't wait to be on your show.
That'd
And
be great.
everybody, so great to see everyone's faces. Thanks for supporting my friend Tuddle.
Jana, I'm so happy and thank you. I was honored that you agreed to come on.
Awesome. Have a good night, guys.
Love you,
Bye.
Jana.
Have a good night.
Hey.
All right, so Russ, I wanted to talk to you just a little bit, okay? Now, I've always looked back on this, okay? I mean, I think one of your greatest talents is noticing talent. I know that sounds weird, I'm using talent, but you've always had a keen eye of what people want, and you've never been that type of radio host, because I've worked with other radio hosts and they have big egos and they don't want to be outshined. But I think you took a different approach, the way that you're able to get the best out of people. Where does that come from, though? I know it's a tough question. I'm not trying to give you a I got you question, but I think that's one of the things. Like, for example, Drunky Tom, when he was doing that stuff, who would have ever thought? It's thinking outside the box, and you saw what he could do, and he was absolutely amazing on the show. Bubba Whoop-Ass Wilson, you saw the talent with him, and I just think that's one of those skills.
This will be a really corny bad answer, but this is the actual truth. So when I was a kid, I was a big fan of Sonny and Cher, right? And Sonny Bono always made the joke about him. He always would take the joke and let everybody else shine above him. He actually was the superstar in the whole thing, but nobody really knew it.
Yeah.
And a lot of what I think about is kind of like that. It's like, you know, let everybody else shine. I have enough big ego it doesn't bother me when people say stuff about me, and I just kind of let everyone else shine and try to put the shine on other people. So I mean, that's the only thing I can do.
But I mean, though, it's not like you lucked up by just finding the original cast. You've gone through so many different cast members, but the only common denominator that's been on the show is you. And I think that's got to make you feel a little good. And you don't have to admit that, but you are the one common denominator that has been through every single phase of the show, though.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm not. Listen, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to. You know, I think not a lot of people give you the credit that's deserved, though.
Well, thanks, man. I've worked with a lot of different people, and every time you have a different cast member, you just have to change the show a little bit to work towards them. Like right now, we have Ryan Holmes. He's different than every other cast member we've had. But
how you found Ryan?
He's a funny guy. It was the Monster Comic of the Year competition that we had, and he didn't win. But
you just saw something.
But by talking to him, I could tell that he could fit in with what we needed to do. See, there were other guys that were maybe better stand-up comics, but he was better to fit in with us to have a lot of quirks and a lot of things that he could talk about with us. And so I could just see that he would fit in with the show, you know.
Well, Russ, I know you're busy. If people want to follow you on social media, personal account, how can they follow you?
Russ at WTCast.com, Russ at Russ Rollins on Twitter. Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Well, and the show is on Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. until 11. Not a lot of people give you that credit, because if you think about it, you do an extra show a week compared to everybody else. When I tell people, you know, oh, you're only doing an extra hour, but if you think about it, that adds up to an extra show a week.
Yeah, we do 5 hours a day, but it's fun. And I'm doing what I love. So if I'm doing what I love, it's good. And I've been blessed to be doing it for almost 30 years now. So it's kind of crazy. But listen, hey, listen, I appreciated the times that you were there. I always thought you were absolutely brilliant. And
I know you did.
Even when you were mad at me, I would always say, I love Tuddle. I don't know why he's mad at me. So I wish you the best, man. Good luck.
Russ, I'm so embarrassed to look back, because you want me to be honest, and I'll send you a copy of it. You know, all the times I used to completely, honestly, I was like a goddamn madman as much as I would send you messages and shit. And now I look back on them, I'm completely embarrassed, and it makes me feel like such a small person when I go back, because I was not in that right mind at the time. And I'm not trying to make excuses. I messed up. It was never your fault. I just took it personal, and I apologize.
That's okay, man. Do you remember the time I was with my kids and you called and Bo had to answer the phone?
Why do you got to
And Bo was like, "Why don't you leave him alone? He's not mad at you."
I know. And you know what? That kind of woke me up and you know what's funny is when Bo is the reasoning, the guy that talks you down off of the ledge, right. You know you got a goddamn problem. No, I'm dead serious. When Bo's talking you down, you're like, oh man, I might somebody needs to tap me on the shoulder and pump the brakes a little bit, because if Bo's talking me down, I got a problem.
Right.
All right, Russ, dude, I appreciate it, man. Check out the Monsters on Real Radio 104. You're on iHeartRadio too.
Yeah.
People can check that out. I'm sorry. I know I was about to go. What has that meant being on iHeartRadio now? Because you guys were one of the first shows that was on XM, and a lot of people don't realize that. I remember when I was on the show, you were on XM, but what does it mean to have that anymore? People don't get syndicated anymore. It's
not as much. I will tell you, you know, we were on XM for about 10 years, but being on iHeart, it's a worldwide thing. We have people that, I mean, you know, I had someone email me yesterday from Switzerland, somebody from, you know, Australia. Like it's a worldwide thing, and it's really weird. You know, your desire as a radio guy used to be syndicated, but now it's like, well, everybody can hear us. You know, it's now just to do the best show possible.
I can look at all the countries. My number 2 country in the world is Ireland. It goes United States, Ireland, Canada, and the United Kingdom.
Yeah, it's funny.
All right, Russ. I really appreciate it, man, and I'm always going to be grateful for everything you did for me, man.
All right, Tuddle. You take care, buddy. Congratulations on your 100th.
All right, man, Russ. See ya. All right. All right, that's Russ Rollins, guys. All right, so I'm going to move on, and, I got Franklin. Franklin the mailman's in there.
Hey! Frank the mailman.
And now I want to bring on, wait a minute. Hold on. Now, I got to figure this out. Terry.
Yep.
I got Terry on hold. Terry, can you hold on just a few? Because I told you it wouldn't be until after 9. Is that okay?
Hey, we're here just lining things up for you.
Where are you at right now?
We're on Duval Street in Key West in front of the Red